Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 150. In today's episode, we will be seeing child adoption in India, legal, institutional and digital reforms. I have been choosing topics which are very important from the upcoming mains perspective. So in line with that, this is another topic which will be very important and significant for this year's mains. So make note of important points, important data, important best practices which I'll be providing in this video. So we'll see why it is in news, what is child adoption process in India, what are the institutional legal mechanism in India, challenges in India, and how do you address these challenges through reforms. First, in syllabus, it comes under governance mains paper 2, statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies. And context is that the Central Adoption Resource Authority, that is CARA, has recognized digitally certified adoption orders sent via email as legally valid in a major push towards digital governance and ease of adoption. Okay, very important, both from the social perspective as well from governance perspective. Okay, so now digitally certified and adoption orders sent by email are considered as a legally valid certificates for adoption processes. Okay, so before that we'll understand what is adoption and what is the process of adoption in India and other various aspects of it. Child adoption is not merely a legal process but a social institution that provides a family to the parentless and a child to the childless. In India, adoption is governed by multiple laws depending on religion, and the process is supervised by Central Adoption Regulatory Authority. Despite legal reforms, adoption remains a complex and underutilized mechanism of child welfare. We will see why it is underutilized as well. Then, legal framework governing adoption in India. What are the important laws? First is the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act of 1956. It is applicable to Hindus, Jains, Sikh and Buddhist. Okay, just because the name suggests Hindu doesn't mean it is only applicable to Hindu. It is applicable to Hindus, Jains, Sikhs and Buddhists. This is the meaning of Hindus in Article 25 as well, in the right to information, in the right to freedom of religion as well. So that is what it is considered here as well. Nature of adoption is full adoption is considered in these cases. Then Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015, which focuses on all religions. Under this, adoption of orphans, abandoned and surrendered children. It deals with these abandoned, orphan and surrendered children. And then Guardians and Wards Act of 1890. Guardians and Wards Act of 1890, which deals with Muslims, Christians, Jews and Parsis. Legal guardianship and not full adoption. It only deals with the legal guardianship but not the full adoption of child. Okay, important laws. Just make note of these important laws and the provisions here. Then, who can be adopted in India? Okay, not every child can be adopted. There is a distinction between different kinds of childs here. First is legally free children. That is declared by the Child Welfare Committee. If they declare these children legally free, then they can be adopted. And then children of relatives, which is most cases in India, uncle, aunt, grandparent. And then there is stepchildren with the biological parents' consent. Okay, the institutions involved in adoption process in India are CARA, which is a statutory body since 2015. It is a central body under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Then Juvenile Justice Amendment Act of 2021. It empowered district magistrates to issue adoption order instead of courts to simplify and expedite the process. Okay, very important. District magistrates are now issuing authority instead of the courts. Previously the courts were the issuing authority, now they have been replaced by district magistrate. Then, what are the eligibility criteria for prospective adoptive parents? Okay, not every person can go and adopt a child. There are certain criteria which has to be followed. That is, first is for married couple, stable relationship of 2+ years, that is they should be married for 2+ years, and the combined age should be less than 110 years. Okay, less than or equal to. And for single women can adopt any child. A single man cannot adopt a girl child. Okay, and then health is important, that is the adoptive parent or prospective adoptive parent should be physically, mentally and financially stable. Okay, and then existing children, if they already have existing children, couples with 3+ children are ineligible for adoption, but there are certain conditions apply, exceptions apply. Okay, that is not necessary for us to dig deep into it, just remember this. And there is a age gap, that is minimum of 25-year age gap should be there between parent and child. Okay, all the safeguards are provided that there is no there is no misuse of the child adoption process in India. Okay, then so adoption process in India, especially since the post 2021 Juvenile Justice Amendment Act, under this there is online registration through Carings portal. Then there will be home study report by a licensed agency, and then counseling and child parent matching. Then it is followed by foster care, followed by legal adoption order, which is given by district magistrate, and finally post adoption follow up for 2 years. Okay, if a prospective parent wants to have a children or adopt a children, then he has to follow all these things: online registration, followed by home study report, followed by counseling, and then followed by foster care, and then followed up by 2 years of follow up, so that there is safety and security provided to the adopted children as well. Okay, sometimes what happens here is parentless or parentless child is eager to get a family, and in that case they go to a parent and then they get adopted, and once they get adopted by a particular family, they are treated as a slaves, they are treated as a workers in the family. So in order to avoid these things that doesn't happen, there are so many safeguards provided for the adaptation of children. Okay, then this is Central Adoption Resource Authority. We will have a details about discussion about Central Adoption Resource Authority. It is established under Juvenile Justice Act Section 68. Initially it was a non-statutory, it became statutory since 2015, and it comes under Ministry of Women and Child Development. There is a portal, that is Carings, which means Child Adoption Resource Information and Guidance System. And then international role, that is it acts as India's central authority under Hague Convention on Inter-Country Adoption, which India ratified in 2003. Okay, so there have been cases of inter-country adoption, and there was a recent case of foreign couples coming to India and getting a unmarried women to have their child, and then absconding without taking the child. There was a famous movie also made on that one. I'm not able to recall the movie, but you should have a watch on that one. Okay, so addressing all these things will be done by CARA. Then key functions of CARA are: one is regulation and oversight, that is it monitors domestic and foreign adoptions, and it ensures compliance with Juvenile Justice Act and child right norms, and technology and platforms. It operates Carings portal for registration, matching and tracking, and then there is interagency coordination, collaborations with SARAs, DCPUs, SAAs and AFAs. SARA is nothing but State Adoption Research Authority. Okay, so this is the CARA portal, CARA's responsibility. And there is also legal and policy roles, that is it issues no objection certificates and conformity certificates, and it updates adoption regulations, which was recently updated 2022, issues digital order recognition advisories, and it also does promotion and awarenesses, that is fosters in-country adoptions and campaigns against illegal adoption and trafficking, and post-adoption care, that is there is a 2-year follow-up and counseling support provided to the adopted children as well as adopted parents. Then new modules for relative and stepfather adaptations, all these things will be taken up here by CARA. So very important institution in India. Then there are certain key challenges in adoption process in India or adoption ecosystem. These are lengthy and bureaucratic process. Okay, why there are so many parentless child. Why there are so many childless parents in India despite the possibility of adoption process? Because of these issues. One is lengthy and bureaucratic process, that is average waiting time is over 2 years for healthy infants, and legal delays due to Juvenile Justice Act reforms. And then low rate of adoptions, that is over 30 million orphaned or abandoned children according to the UNCF is estimate, but fewer than 4,000 legal adoptions annually. Okay, just remember there are more than 30 million in the sense 3 crore orphaned or abandoned childs are there, but in India only 4,000 legal adoptions happen annually. Okay, if this is streamlined properly, if the awareness is created, then this can be increased. Then legal complexity and religious constraints as well. That is, Muslims, Christians, Parsis cannot legally adopt under personal laws. Only guardianship is allowed under the Guardianship Act of 1890, which we already discussed before. Then there is also social stigma attached to adoption process in India. That is, adoption is still seen as a last resort. Reluctance to adopt girls, older children, or children with disabilities. Okay, why adoption to like reluctance to adopt girls? Because there is a male meta preference which is present in Indian society, and also there is a fear about the safety and security of the girl child, and also the issue of dowry. So all these things result in a reluctance of the parents to go for a girl child adoption, and also older children. So it is also difficult. Many of the parents go for a child which is very little in nature, which is very low in age. Only then they will be able to adopt them. If they are older children, they are very reluctant to adopt them. And also children with disabilities are the last resort under the adoption process as well. Then illegal adoptions and child trafficking, very important. Unregulated inter-country adoptions, which I have discussed about a previous movie. I'm not able to. Okay, the movie name is Mimi. Okay, and then black market adoptions bypassing CARA norms. This is shown beautifully in that movie, which was based on the real life story of India only. Then digital and access issues, that is Caring's portal difficulty to navigate in rural and remote areas, and many of the people don't even know what is this Caring portal, and many of the people don't even know what is the process to follow for adoption processes in India. Okay, many go for just relatives adoption process, many go for adopting the relatives child, etc., but they don't go for this, and many decide to just remain childless instead of going for adoption process because of the various issues which I am explaining here. Excuse me. And then there is poor digital literacy norms and limits access for non-urban population. There is also poor digital literacy in India, which limits the access to Caring's portal. So if these are the issues, how can you address this? How can you streamline adoption process so that there are more adoptions and there are lesser orphan children? That is, there can be example of best practices around the world, such as in USA, there are open adoptions and also provides tax credits to the parents which are going for child adoption, and also family counseling services post adoption. And in South Korea, mandatory pre-adoption education and 7-day reflection period. And then in Netherlands, strong state support is there, including subsidies and psychological counseling of adoptive families. And then in Australia, inclusive adoption across religions and genders, centralized databases for transparency is available. These can be followed in India as well. Then what are the other measures? That is, what are the other way forwards? First and foremost is uniform civil code for adoption. That is, instead of different personal laws related to adoption, we can streamline into a uniform civil code. That is, create a comprehensive secular adoption law applicable across all the religions. That is, replacing discriminatory personal laws. Simplify legal and administrative procedures. Strict timelines for each stage, and wider delegation of powers to district magistrates and special adoption agencies. Then awareness campaigns, that is, promote adoption through media, schools and community leaders, and also combat myths and social stigma attached to adoption process. Then strengthening CARA and monitoring, that is, strengthen CARA through increasing manpower and funding for post-adoption monitoring. And also digital reforms are also needed, that is updating caring portal or upgrading caring portal with mobile interface and multilingual access. Then integrate with other and child health tracking so that post adoption process can be monitored easily. Then international collaboration, that is adhere to Hague Convention standards, build secure and ethical channels for inter-country adoptions. Okay, so that we can avoid black markets or trafficking of children. Okay, so this is a very important topic which you can expect a question in this year's mains. So I covered it holistically. Note down important points which I told already, and also the best practices which can be used as a recommendation in your answers. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.